ruru anyị wee bịa njem na Amerịka. Anyị bịa ka ibe leta nwanne anyị nwoke bụ nna anyị n'obodo a. Bụ onye anyị nwụrịla anya na nchekwube na eziokwu nke ya nwa na onye ji guzo. Na eziokwu a ga na-edu ụmụ Biafra na-aga n'ihu. Ọ ga na-edu IPOB na-aga n'ihu. Anyị bịara n'ụlọ ya nabata anyị. Were obi ọcha na obi dowe nabata anyị. Anyị na-asị na ọ ga-adịrị ya na mma na ezinụlọ ya na mma. Anyị na-asị na ihe ọbụla anyị chọrọ bịa mere ka anyị ga-enwetarịrị ya. N'ihi na ihe anyị na-ekwu okwu mgbe na-ewu n'ọnwụ ndụ mmiri ndụ azụ. Nwa mmụọ emegbula nwa mmadụ, nwa mmiri emegbula nwa mmụọ. Ihe anyị na-ekwu. Anyị na-asị na Biafra ga-abịara na ndụ na-awụghị n'ọnwụ. Anyị ga-eri uru ọmụmụ. Anyị ga-eri uru akụ na ụba n'ime Biafra. Anyị na-asị na onye ọwụla pụtara na sị na Biafra agaghị adị, onye ahụ agaghị adị. Anyị anaghị asị emebere nke obere nke si bebere ka ya gosi nke ọ ga-ebe. Anyị na-asị na nkụ ga-ekwe ọ ga-edo ọ ga-anwụ. Ọ bụ eziokwu ka anyị ji na-aga njem a. Ọ bụ ịhụnanya ka anyị ji na-aga ofu obi. Anyị na-asị onye ọbụla hụrụ eziokwu jide eziokwu aka, n'ihi na ọ bụ eziokwu bụ ndụ, ọ bụghị okwu asị. Anyị na-asị na ọ ga-ada anyị niile na mma. Anyị ga-ahụ echi n'ihi na echi anaghị agwụ agwụ. Anyị na-arịọ Chukwu okike abịa ma ka onye anyị ndụ nye anyị ahụ isi ike, nye anyị ngọzi nke ya, nye anyị ịhụnanya. Ekpere niile ka anyị na-ekpe ọwụ ka onye bi n'ime eluigwe ka o wee nụrụ olu anyị, wee gbatara anyị ọsọ enyemaka, wee zọpụta anyị na akpa niile nke na-akpa anyị nke bụ Biafra. Anyị na-asị n'ikpete maazụ anyị ga-enye aha nsị ụtụtụ na nsọpụrụ na-eji ama site n'ebighị ebi ma ruo n'ebighị ebi.
Nobody is talking about the agreement and how Nigeria become a country from amalgamation to fake independence to today present Nigeria. They put it under the carpet because nobody have risen up to challenge them. Nobody have risen up to question the existence of Nigeria. Until now, we are questioning it under the Biafra government in exile. And we will question it with gun, we will question it with bomb, we will question it with civility, we will question it diplomatically, and we will question it politically. And that is the multi-dimensional approach. That thing they are avoiding to discuss, that particular existence of Nigeria, or continuation of Nigeria, they have been avoiding to discuss, will be forced to discuss. They will be forced with the activities and the actions of the Biafra government in 2024. That's where we are going. That's why all these shenanigans, all this their regional government, all this nonsense you see happening are happening today. And they have not actually started hitting the point, because the point remains the continual existence of Nigeria as a country. They are not discussing it. What was the agreement of 1914? What was the agreement thereafter? Independent. What happened for after the 100 years of Nigeria? Nobody is discussing it. Our own British mandate terminated in 2014. That was when the British mandate terminated. When they say you have 100 years, after that we decide.
This is the Biafra national anthem.
7 rows, 14 rows, 21 rows. I love to go. Man, beat.
Nigeria has recruited Islamic State fighters into their military, police, and other forces to continue the holy war of Islam against indigenous people, and Biafra government in exile can't sit back and watch Nigeria state kill Biafra unchallenged. Therefore, the government which uses force to support its rules teaches the oppressed to use force to propose it. We will continue to justify our decision to engage in sabotaging and hostility against terrorists in uniform until they are withdrawn completely from Biafra territory from the 14th United States of Biafra.
Welcome, fellow Biafrans, wherever you are watching us from. I appreciate you and I welcome you to today's episode of the program coming from the Biafra Republic of Exile Media. Today, we are here to give you update. As you all know, the delegitimization of Nigeria government in Biafran territory has intensified. The defense of Biafra and Biafran people have also increased. Today is the 4th day of the 30 days lockdown. If the vapor has not reached your area, don't think it's not happening. It is happening in other areas. And Biafrans are testifying. If you doubt what is happening, you can go on the ground and investigate for yourself. For those investigative journalists and the doubting Thomas, you can go and see things for yourself. Biafra land will be defended and protected at all costs. Wherever you are in Biafran territory, all you have to do is to stay safe. Go to your businesses and come back safely in your home. Don't put yourself in harm's way. Be security conscious at all times. Stay away from all barracks. It doesn't matter, police barrack, army barrack, military barrack, any barrack that belongs to the Nigerian forces, stay away. Stay away from the checkpoints and all their ministries, local government secretariats, everywhere. Stay away from them. Very, very important. Stay away and stay safe. The primary objective of Biafran government is to protect every life and property, and they will do it at any cost. Our Prime Minister has shown that he is ready for the job. There is no doubt if he is ready or not. There is no doubt anymore. He is very much ready to defend Biafra land, not only defending Biafra land, also to defend Biafran people. And we will not go on what is happening today without touching the issue of our beloved sister Amaka in Canada. Amaka must be protected. If you have not started speaking about her on your platform, please begin to do that. Our Prime Minister made it clear that we are going to use her as an example. It is now for you to understand that you have nobody standing for you. Every one of us saw that when Amaka was attacked, the very first people to deny her was the same people who were supposed to protect her. The Ohanese Ndu Hinandama, they denied her. The politicians denied her. Up to today, they are still trying to be politically correct. But for us, we cannot try to put in any political correctness. We say it the way it is. Our beloved sister Amaka is a Biafran, Wanda for that matter, and must be protected. Whatever she has said was as a response to the bully against her family, against her children that has been coming for a very long time. The earlier every one of them understand this, the better. And it is not just by saying it in word. Every one of you have seen the statement issued. And our Prime Minister did not stop on statement. The government of Biafra have written a formal letter to the government of Canada. The government of Canada is aware of Biafra, Republic of Venezuela, and we have a liaison office in Canada. Formal letter have been written, and the copy of the letter have been posted in all platforms. You can go to my platform on Facebook. You are going to see the copy of the letter. So it is not just us coming online to rant. we talk and we follow it up and do it. Our prime minister is equal to the task. So go and tell them. The so-called Abike Dabiri that doesn't know her left and right, that is so filled up with envy, jealousy, with nepotism, filled up with bigotry and tribalism in her mind. We cannot fold our hands and watch those their idiocy continue to strive. Today, if you slap us on one cheek, we will slap you on 10 cheeks. You blow us once, we give you 3 blows. There is nothing like slap me here, I give you the other side. We will not allow you to even land the first slap, and we give you more than 1,000 to shut you down. Our freedom must be protected. Biafra land and Biafran people must be protected, and no matter what they do, we must continue to protect our land. So before we proceed, I'm going to still share with you some videos I collected. You can see how the Biafran people are responding. If you have not yet started responding, please go and play your own part. And before I play that video, I think yesterday I said I was going to play a video in response to what I'm going to show now. You know, they keep on pushing propaganda. They say that we are ritualists. They say we are evil men. They say we are the one causing problem. They say we are doing this and that. And we have evidence to show that they are the one involved in all this. I said I was going to play a video to respond to this very video I'm about to play. I will play it first, then I'll go to the rest.
Since they feel say they get the power or they get the right, we will let them know say we be Benin people. We know what we sabi do, we will do unto them. Both I dey put this thing now and make our people both home and abroad the year on. Maybe say anywhere they foresee their children, unalive them.
Okay. Anywhere where they see both children, may they unalive them. Okay. Now our children, the one they go for Abi.
It's not. That was one at the end of it where they were describing us as the troublemakers, as ritualists. They say we are ritualists, we are troublemakers, we are the ones causing confusion, we are the ones fighting every other people. But I want to show you on video what is happening in the Southwest. You might not hear their language, you might not know what they are talking, but just play along, watch carefully, you are going to see for yourself.
So only shrine Atlanta. Shrine no man pa our victims. These are the victims by. They are all ladies. Àwọn ní church wòlíì ni wọ́n mú àwọn victims wá. Eléyìí ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú one guy they call him Assis. Assis ló máa.
What I'm showing you is the ritual activities going on in southwestern part of the Zoological Republic. These are a bunch of ritualists. They were caught with ladies' items and properties and parts they have stolen from people. This is happening in the Southwest, but they will not report it. They will tell you that it is the Biafrans that are ritualists. This is what they are doing. That is happening as we speak.
So only shrine Atlanta. Shrine no man pa our victims. These are the victims by. They are all ladies. Àwọn ní church wòlíì ni wọ́n mú àwọn victims wá. Eléyìí ṣiṣẹ́ pẹ̀lú one guy they call him Assis. Assis ló máa lé àwọn guests yẹn wá for a date. So much wá lé wọn wá for a date. Àwọn wá gbé àwọn guests yẹn lọ sí shrine eléyìí ní Atlanta. Shrine yẹn ló máa pa gbogbo àwọn guests yẹn ló máa pa wọ́n sí. So eléyìí àwọn tó bá ti ní the part.
So all this like
all these 10 girls, 10 bags.
10 bags.
A sọ gbogbo àwọn tó gba part àwọn èèyàn. Méjì tẹ́lẹ̀ gbà onílé tó wà ń bí báyìí. These 2 bags. Oníṣègùn lòun ọba ṣègùn. Olóhun lélẹ̀ àtàn ẹ̀sìn wọn kọ̀ ọ̀gbẹ̀ wọn kọ́fíìsì sí. Obìnrin máa wọlé náà bí. Kí space ó yọ ní kọ́ spread wọn.
Ẹ bá wa sún wọn mọ́ so that we can do the interview.
Second side.
Ṣe rí eléyìí tẹ́ ń wò lọ́ọ̀kan yìí wọ́n ní lára àwọn èèyàn lè tí wọ́n ti pa òun ni wọ́n tẹ́ sínú àwọn kìíní lọ́nà kọ̀ọ̀jọ̀kan òun náà lẹ́wọ̀.
Ẹ kàn sórúkọ yín ìfẹ́ òbóyè ṣiṣẹ́ ni.
Abídèmí.
Ṣé sọ̀rọ̀?
40 to 1. Moses, have you done? Huh? Okay.
Hey, Maudi, come on, tell us all.
So, come on with your camera.
Yeah.
So, have we said?
Yes.
Hello, Koy.
Moses Abidemi,
Tomadumelo.
45 years.
Níbo ló ń gbé?
Atom, Ọ̀tà.
Iṣẹ́ wo ló ń ṣe? Iṣẹ́ wo ló ń ṣe?
Trado medical. Trado medical.
Kí nìyẹn ní Yorùbá?
Iṣẹ́ ìṣègùn ìbílẹ̀.
Sọ kí ló gbé dé tọlọ́pàá?
Wọ́n tíráàkì fóònù mi pé wọ́n wá ẹnìkan so orúkọ ẹ̀ ní Asis. Orúkọ ẹ̀ ní Asis. So Asis yẹn ni wọ́n tíráàkì nọ́mbà ẹ̀. Wọ́n fi wá tíráàkì nọ́mbà láti ara nọ́mbà Asis. Wọ́n fi tíráàkì nọ́mbà mi.
Kí ló wé pààyàn ẹ̀ka Asis papọ̀?
Asis ni ó máa ń gbé àwọn nǹkan tí Asis ló máa ń gbé àwọn nǹkan tí àwọn olówó máa béèrè lọ́wọ́ tó máa láwọn need.
Kí náà béèrè yẹn tó láwọn need?
Àwọn ẹran èèyàn. Àwọn ẹran èèyàn. So tó bá ti wá gbé pè mí máa pe Asis máa gbé wá máa gbé fún.
Bóòlù kí ló fẹ́ gbé tó gbé wá? Ó máa mú yàn wá.
Obìnrin.
Obìnrin nìkan lẹ́yìn ń lò.
Irọ́ mi obìnrin ni bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àwọn tẹ́ ti ṣe oṣóbìnrin ni wọ́n àbọ́kùnrin.
Ọmọ tí ó mú wa obìnrin ló ń gbé wá fún wa.
Obìnrin mélòó ló ti bá sọ́dọ̀ yín? Báwo làwọn báàgì tó wà lẹ́yìn àwọn báàgì obìnrin tó wà lẹ́yìn ṣe jẹ́?
Òun náà Àṣìṣe yẹn ló gbé gbogbo báàgì yẹn wá.
Báàgì ló gbé wá fún yín àbẹ́ èèyàn?
Nǹkan tán bá bẹ ọmọbìnrin yẹn kò kí ń gbé wá sọ́dọ̀ ó máa ń tán bá bẹ̀ nínú tó wọ́n bá sọ pé àwọn nílò òun ló máa gbé wá.
Inú ẹ̀ òkè bọ́jà wọ́n sọ pé àwọn nílò apá
o àbí ọmọ ló máa mú wá.
wọ́n bá mú dé ọ̀dọ̀ yín báwo lẹ ṣe máa ṣe?
Màá wá mú fún ọmọbìnrin kan tó ó máa ti ṣe fúnra rẹ̀ ó máa mú wá ni.
Kí ló ti máa ṣe sí ọmọbìnrin yẹn?
A ti yọ ohun tí wọ́n béèrè pé wọ́n ní a ti mú wá ẹ̀ ó máa mú wá fún wa. Tó bá ti wá mú wá èmi á wá mú fún àwọn tí wọ́n nídìí.
Ṣé àwọn ló máa wá bá yín pé àwọn nílò ẹran èèyàn?
Àwọn olúwo.
Kí lorúkọ wọn?
Olúwo Mandela. Olúwo Mandela.
Kí ṣe Mandela ni bàbá wọn sọ wọn ni èmi ìnagijẹ nìyẹn. Kí lorúkọ tó ń jẹ́?
Sunday Monday Samuel. Olúwo ti yẹn. Ifọ̀.
Olúwo fọ̀.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Àwọn náà máa sọ fún yín pé àwọn nílò ẹran èèyàn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Ẹ̀yìn wá pe Azeez.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ni.
Azeez àwa mú èèyàn wá báyìí.
Irọ́ ó máa ti ṣe ó máa yọ wá ni. Ó máa mú wá fúnra rẹ̀.
Lóun tá a gbọ́ ni pé ọ̀dọ̀ yín ni ojúbọ tó ti ń pa èèyàn.
Irọ́ Azeez mú wá ni.
Báwo ni àwọn báàgì yìí wá lọ́dọ̀ yìí?
Ọjọ́ tí ó wá sí ọ̀dọ̀ mi ló sọ pé òun bọ̀ láti ibì kan ló gbé àpótí báàgì wà náà yìí àtàkì ìwà sókàn ni pé òun fẹ́ gbé sọ́dọ̀ pé òun máa wá padà gbé òun ni wọ́n fi bá lọ́dọ̀ mi.
Ẹ dúró. Ṣé kẹ́tọ̀ fún pa wọ́n lélẹ̀?
Òun ló owó kan gbé sínú báàgì yìí pákó báàgì yẹn bẹ́ẹ̀ ni pẹ̀lú pákó báàgì.
Àṣìṣe náà dà ń sè.
Òun tí ì rí.
Ẹ dúró mi ò fẹ́ gbàgbọ́ pé nǹkan tẹ̀ ń sọ òótọ́ nídìí ni wípé tí Àṣìṣe ò kàn lè ṣàdédé kó báàgì láìsí pé ṣe lè fẹ́ ta báàgì.
Ó lóun ń bọ̀ láti ibì kan pé òun máa padà wá gbé ó kàn gbé sí ọ̀dọ̀ mi ni. Yes bó ṣe rí nìyẹn. Tó bá ti wá gbé àwọn nǹkan tó ń bẹ tí mo bẹ̀ wá ó kàn máa gbé wá ni màá gbé fún àwọn tí
wọ́n nílò ẹran èèyàn ṣe.
Èmi ò kí ń fi ṣoògùn àwọn tí wọ́n máa ń fi ṣoògùn náà.
So báwo ló ipa olè yín kún bẹ́ẹ̀?
Ipa ni pé Àṣìṣe tó bá ti bá wọn gẹ̀ẹ́tì ẹ̀ òun máa gbé fún mi èmi ni mo ń gbé fún wọn èmi ni mo mọ̀ wọ́n.
So ẹ̀yin mọ̀ pé Àṣìṣe ń pààyàn.
Bẹ́ẹ̀ ni èmi ni mo mọ̀ wọ́n.
Báwo lẹ ṣe mọ̀ Àṣìṣe?
Ó ti tó bí ọdún mélòó kan tí mo ti mọ̀ bàtọ́ bí ọdún mẹ́ta.
Báwo lẹ ṣe mọ̀?
Ìgbà tí ara bàbá ẹ̀ ò yá fún asthma tó ń lo èélà ni wọ́n gbé dáadé wá treat lọ́dọ̀ mi bàtà díẹ̀ ti gbádùn.
What you saw here, those people that have been interviewed are a bunch of ritualists. These are people that are dealing with human parts. And these people are located in the Southwest. You can see them that when they are talking about this issue, they are using their own local language to talk about it. They will never report it in English for other people to understand what is going on. They hide it within themselves. And there are numerous videos about this in Lagos State and in other states. This one, I think, is a good state. I have several. There are some that I cannot be able to share here because of the restrictions on the social media. I can't be able to share it. But these are what is happening in this area where they are accusing us of ritual activity, but they are the main people. You saw the people who are involved in that ritual, the native doctors and others. They are the people that are interviewed. They deal on human parts. You see that they will never speak in English. They will use their local language to talk about it within themselves. And they will come out, they will focus on the Biafran people, and they will begin to challenge us and call us different kinds of names, begin to go to different platforms and begin to castigate our names. But this is happening in their own area. There are so many videos that I cannot be able to share here, only the few ones that I can be able to put on so that you can understand. What you saw him trying to bring out there is human past. That's what trying to be a head. Somebody heard that they took, and the young man you see there is from the southwest. You see them how they surround him and they are speaking in their own language, asking him to bring it out. I can't be able to, the video, if I play it, it is so terrible that we can't show all this on social media. I tried as much as possible to cover it, but it wasn't able to cover, so I cut out some part of it to just share. For viewers' discretion, I wouldn't want to put my platform on the risk. I can't be able to show you what that man has in that bag, but I bet you it is unbelievable what is happening in the Southwest. But still, they continue to push hatred on us. They talk down on us and they say a lot of things against us that are false without any evidence. They use their Nollywood movie, the Nollywood movie of Nigeria, Nigerian Nollywood. They use it to castigate us, they use it to paint us black, they use it to portray that those are our attitude. But I can bet you that that is not anywhere near the attitude of the Biafran people. You have seen evidence. I have so many of the videos that I can't play here. And they accuse us of making trouble and fighting. It is only the Biafran that have never risen against any tribe in their own region to fight against them. We have never had at any point in time where they say that the Biafrans rose up in their territory and they began to attack innocent citizens anywhere. It has never ever happened in the history from the beginning of Biafra up to this day. The only thing you hear in Biafran territory is that we are going against the terrorists in our area to take them away and make sure that our life is protected. Everything happening in Biafran land is out of self-defense. But in that same Southwest, we have seen them go against even the Hausa people. They went against them. They took innocent life in broad daylight and nothing was done. They don't talk about it, but instead, their focus is on Biafra. And I'm going to show you one of the things that transpired in the Southwest. Just a short clip for you to understand the blackmail they are pushing. They hide their own evil and they continue to push us out there to castigate us and make us look as if we are the troublemaker. We are not, and we will never be. And no amount of their propaganda or blackmail will bring us down. Watch this.
mutumin da ke kwance ne da ake ɗauka. Roba, ga mun da ana ɗauka.
Oh, Safety, why have you come back here?
I just said I should try. Maybe I will see remnants of my things because I have nothing left. This spot was given to me by somebody who saw me outside there, and there's no place for me to live. I just say maybe I can just check and maybe I will see some things of my property. That's all. That's why I came.
So you don't feel that the fighting is over? You don't feel it has finished?
Maybe the fighting is over, but I don't believe it because what I experienced here yesterday among the police and the Yorubas, I don't believe it. I don't believe we are safe. So that's why I even left.
I hate military administration, but today, my prostration, democratic has prostrated me. I love military to come back.
Yeah, sure.
You know, I don't want military before, but I prepare military now because of here and there killing. I have no security. There is no security for me. So I want foreign investor to scare away from Nigeria. They should never come and invest until Obasanjo resign. Or the foreign investors should give Obasanjo alternative. Either he resign, he go, we make a fresh election.
What you just saw was attack on the northerners in Ududua land, in Yoruba land. Attack against northerners. Properties were destroyed. Innocent citizens lost their life. And nothing with it. Nobody is talking about it. They went about their businesses as if everything is okay. They never talk about it. But they are busy castigating the Biafran people as troublemakers. There has never been any record anywhere where the Biafran people rose against any ethnic group in their territory. There has never been any. It has always been welcoming them. The only time we speak is when they are coming to take our life. Sending away the terrorists from Biafran land, that is the only mission we have. If you are a terrorist in Biafran territory, whether you are in uniform or off uniform, it doesn't matter your religion or your race, and you come to Biafran land, you will have to contend with us. We don't go against innocent citizens, but you can see what is happening in the southwest. And this is how they leave their own problem. They live to remove something that is in their eyes, and they are busy talking about the Biafran people. Now you understand why we must not keep silent anymore. Use your platform to respond to every idiocy coming from these Afonjas. Any idiocy coming from them, respond to it. If you want peace, you have peace with us. But if you want the other way around, we give it to you. Exactly the same thing you wish us. That is what we wish for you. Whatever you wish us, it's what we will wish for you. And there's no going back. And I will share with you more responses coming from the Biafran people. If you have not started responding, use your platform to speak. Amaka must be protected. She only responded to the bully against her. She only responded to the attack against her. And they picked her own and began to send it to the whole world, trying to paint every one of us as troublemakers. That is what they're trying to do. They want to paint every one of us as troublemakers. You think it's about Amaka, right? You that is watching me, you think that this issue is about Amaka. It is not just about Amaka in Canada. It is about you, wherever you are located. As long as you're a Biafran, Amaka case is your case. They are just using her to get at you. Understand it and know peace, and use your platform to speak. Let us listen to what some other Biafrans are saying on their own.
We want to see other people, Yoruba. We want to see them getting arrested as soon as possible. Failing to do that, protect Amaka. This is where this whole I will put you something in your food. This is where it started. Amaka did not start it. She only retaliated. Listen to them.
If the fish say they get the power or they get the right, we will let them know say we be Benin people. We know what we sabi do. No, do unto them. Both I dey put this thing now and make our people both home and abroad the year on. Maybe say anywhere they for see their children, unalive them.
Okay. Anywhere where they see both children, may they unalive them. Okay. Now our children, they want they go for a bee.
Google works, I'm here the video. God damn it!
And you are the best.
Benin Empire, now Empire they call, and they not say Benin, they not say Edo State. Now Benin Empire, you not get right to the talk to us anywhere you see their children, unalive them, both home and abroad, America, Europe, Africa, anywhere in the world, unalive them.
And one thing where Edo people don't know, and we don't. Now Igbo people now they take fight us.
Okay.
Yes, now. Yes. Now Igbo people now loot Benin, now rape our woman, now they take fight us with they carry. So that is why I dey tell una now. Make we begin to show them. Even yedo we tie. Uga muja you a train. Una mi we go koke. Jola pane. Ima kan via ya yiga. Imana mi ana so e na mi dey osra. Kingsley. Wale check una neya we. 2017, the person who sees Biafra flag for stadium, and me do one, we go court, and I defeat them. One Mariah squad making any party where go there, they see me enter there because they don't say I go run them, enter them, and they don't give me food now. Where I go take run enter them. I do community they do our 31st anniversary. May you take person in there. A managing and I will ask you I go teach them lesson. 1824, the Benin Kingdom don't respect, don't already recognize.
This is the time, if you guys think you are the reincarnation of your forefathers, you think you are here to finish the conquest of your forefathers in the First Republic, we are the reincarnation of the time of Awolowo, and we will do what Awolowo did not do. Total solution. And that you guys will never hear Yoruba land again. You think twice. You are not better than us. You are not greater than us. You are not greater than us. It's still one thing you did last year when the president spoke about it. They put you in a dog in a staple and starve you all into death. And that's the people you want think you can scare. In this Nigeria, there's only one people that are conquered people, and it's you Igbos. No other person is a conquered people in Nigeria. You are the only people that my ancestor, a Yoruba man, took your leaders, put handcuffs in them, and brought them to Lagos to Gowon. The only reason why you have mouths today is because Gowon chose to forgive them. If you had put them in execution's plan, what would your life be? Right? So I'm not see this bragging you are doing with Yoruba people. If our fathers taught us to be good people, if our fathers taught us to not be aggressive to people, that a lion is full does not mean that a lion cannot run. If war comes, Benjamin Adekule can do that to your ancestors. One Obasanjo can do that to your ancestors. Think of what all Yoruba people can do. And you see this MC Oloma, the talks, the so-called talks that you are scared of. We know why you are scared of them. We know that because only they, if they face you guys, you can't survive it. It's just that one, MC Oloma is just to show you, it's not even all of Lagos. If you face you guys, you can't survive it. Now only about you get your warlord. We know I was bragging. No black African army can destroy Biafra. No black African army can do this. No black African army can do that. How did it end? In the night, he escaped. He left you after he has stabbed you all to death. He escaped. So, you see this bragging you do, and all this stuff, it will always get you into trouble. I have three sessions. I have 3 answers I want to give you. This is round 1. So that you can.
So, can imagine what a Yoruba person was saying against the Igbos.
I believe you've had enough. All these things you are hearing, all these voices, was what led to the Amaka patient
making her own video of Agametiru Nogu Okeriomo. Now waiting lead make Amaka talk her own.
Now you have heard and you have seen. If you cannot stand up and begin to protect your own, it is going to be your turn. Gone are the days when we were playing ignorance. We say, oh, leave them, leave them. Oh, leave them, don't talk. Oh, we don't want problem. Oh, don't bring problem for us. You must be ready today to face whatever comes. We must be ready to protect ourselves. We must be ready to defend ourselves and defend our land. Everybody must be protected. Whether you are with the Biafran government, whether you are IPOB or you are not, as long as you stand and represent Biafra, you are from Biafran territory, you will be protected. The only thing you can do for yourself is to make sure you identify yourself with Biafra. Identify yourself with the Biafran government, more especially people living abroad. Identify yourself with Biafran government. They are jealous of you as you're living abroad. You have escaped their criminality. You have escaped them from taking your life. You have escaped them from enslaving you, and they are not happy. They want to bring you back home, enemies. Make sure you associate with the Biafran government wherever you are. Make sure you identify yourself with the Biafran government wherever you are. Don't say you were not told. The case of Amaka is a lesson. Now we want to go into the discussions that are happening on their media, in their conventional media in Nigeria. There is one of the media presentation that I'm going to play here for us to hear what they are saying in their media and what is going on. Then we will come back and talk.
We don't recognize her. They have dissociated themselves from her statements. And Nigerians abroad, too, are coming to say, look, this is not what we are here for. We are not here to kill ourselves, all right? We can be together as one, regardless of the fact that during the live conversation where she made those statements, there were people cheering her on. But ultimately, you know what they say about not washing your dirty linen outside. I think Nigerians will come together, and this will just be a phase by the weekend.
Chukuma, do you also share the same thought?
I think I have a slightly different opinion.
All right.
You know, but I think the issue now isn't about what Amaka said. What Amaka said is highly condemnable.
Yeah.
Outright. You know, every right-thinking human being condemns that. But I think the issue in discussion now is the role Abike Dabere is playing in the whole thing. You know, Abike unfortunately has wrongly profiled herself by her actions. You know, she seems clearly biased in her role as a government official that represents an entity within the Nigerian government. She has clearly shown bias by the way she puts out information regarding a certain group of people. The Igbos in particular. Anytime the Igbos, people of the Igbo ethnic group, anytime there's this kind of, you know, they stray away from normalcy, she's very quick to highlight it. Unfortunately, she hasn't done that for the Yoruba people, where she comes from. Let us call it what it is.
So you think she's being sentimental?
Very biased. Okay. Very biased. And it is not good for us. So what Amaka did is wrong. Yeah. You can't profile an ethnic group wrongly like that. You want to kill people. Why do you have to kill them? Why do you have to kill them? It's condemnable. And if anyhow you turn it, what she did was wrong. You know. But the issue now is Abikere, the role she is playing. Now, a certain group of people from the Southwest have come to say, look, Igbo should go, this one and all of that one. And Abikere Dabere is very silent.
She didn't say anything about that. Still.
And it speaks to the larger climate of hate.
I'm not holding for her now.
You know?
But the person that said, I don't think it was her purview to comment on, because that wasn't a Nigerian in diaspora. That basically, from what we know,
Adeyinka Jr. was in the UK. He was in the diaspora. Was in the UK.
I wasn't
calling for Igbos to go.
Yeah.
You know, and I made mention of that yesterday. That probably she is taking on this one because Amaka is in Canada, so it falls under her purview.
Yeah.
But what about Adeyinka Jr., What about the Igbos that went to steal in
Dubai,
in UAE,
yeah,
and she was quick to profile them? But we saw some Yoruba prostitutes in UK, sorry, in Italy, and she was silent. That is what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So she should understand that, look, my position is that of, I represent the Nigerian government. And the Nigerian people, all of us are one humanity. I keep talking about it.
So do you think this is going to die down anytime soon?
No, of course it will die. But like I said, it speaks to the larger climate of hate.
So do you also think it's more like a distraction, for Nigerians not to look at what is really happening and start?
I mean, nobody asked Amaka to make the statement. So it's not a distraction. It's not diversionary.
All right. And with that, we'll move over to another one. The Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission, FCCPC, has issued a 1-month ultimatum to traders and market stakeholders to reduce the prices of goods and services or face enforcement actions. Executive Vice Chairman Tunji Bello, addressing the growing concerns over unreasonable pricing, highlighted significant discrepancies such as the fruit blender price at $89 in the US being sold for 949,999 naira in Lagos, Nigeria. He emphasized that violators could face it.
Now, you have heard from this very media that at least some people are speaking up. Some of them are picking the courage to say the truth and say it the way it is. Abike Dabiri is nothing but a bigot, a tribal bigot. That's what it's at. Her hatred cannot be hidden. That was why she capitalized on chasing after an innocent woman. Within a few minutes, she has written a letter, and their Senate is also writing. This shows that we are not part of these people. This is why every Biafra must rally around behind the Prime Minister. And that is why more than 50 million people have voted that Biafran government should go ahead and exit Biafra from the zoo. For those who don't understand, you'll be wondering, how many did we got up? This is why we got up to more than 50 million votes. And more is still counted until the time of convention. And the declaration of the restoration of the State of Biafra will be done. It will be done. December 2nd, nothing is going to stop it. This is why everyone has to stand up and do the right thing. Nigeria has ended long time ago. If you don't want to ask a question, the Biafrans are ready to ask questions in a strong term.
Nobody is talking about the agreement and how Nigeria become a country from amalgamation to fake independence to today present Nigeria. They put it under the carpet because nobody have risen up to challenge them. Nobody have risen up to question the existence of Nigeria. Until now, we are questioning it under the Biafra government in exile. I will question it with gun. We will question it with bomb. We will question it with civility. We will question it diplomatically, and we will question it politically. And that is the multi-dimensional approach. That thing they are avoiding to discuss, that particular existence of Nigeria or continuation of Nigeria, they have been avoiding to discuss, will be forced to discuss. They will be forced with the activities and the actions of the Biafra government in 2024. That's where we are going. That's why all these shenanigans, all this their regional government, all this nonsense you see happening are happening today. And they have not actually started hitting the point, because the point remains the continual existence of Nigeria as a country. They are not discussing it. What was the agreement of 1914? What was the agreement thereafter? Independent. What happened for after the 100 years of Nigeria? Nobody is discussing it. Our own British mandate terminated in 2014. That was when the British mandate terminated. When they say you have 100 years, after that we decide.
You have heard from our Prime Minister, and that is the truth. Whether you like it or not, it will continue to stay at you. We have to go further once again. I want to share with you another discussion on another media on that Zoological Republic. Remember, our Prime Minister told us not to attack any media. Don't attack any media in Nigeria that is reporting for either for us or against us. But the only media we go against is Channel Television, Arise Television, TVC, and their NTA. These four media must be focused on and challenged. But any other media reporting the issue of Biafra, whether negative or positive, we have to leave them, let them do their job. And I want to share with you another topic going on in one of the media in Nigeria. Let's watch.
Good afternoon and thank you for staying with us.
Good afternoon, Esther, and thanks for having me.
Mr. Chukwuma Okoro is the author of The Future of Politics. I would implore you to actually get it right there on Amazon Nigeria. And of course, you can also make sure that if you're interested in politics, I think the book is going to give you in-depth or perspective or insight into what politics is today and in the future. Mr. Chukwuma Okoro, that is also going to be the bane of our conversation today. A lot has been actually transpiring post-election, but let's look at this particular situation. Now, the release of Nnamdi Kanu is the clamor all over. I'm sure on this platform, a lot of people listening to us will say we're always talking about it, but it's a recurring development. It's a story that is in continuum, so we'll always talk about it. Now, the fact is this, with these referendum, this e-voting that has taken place, does it guarantee Nnamdi Kanu's freedom anytime soon?
Esther, the e-referendum is contentious. Contentious to the fact that, to the extent that I don't know when it was conducted.
Okay.
The fact that I don't...
it was an e-voting...
It was e-voting
yes,
thing.
E-voting,
the fact that I don't know when it was conducted
okay.
also doesn't... take away the fact that it could have happened.
All right.
And here we have Simon Ekpa saying that about 50 million people voted in that referendum. I think the beauty of what Ekpa has done is to highlight the fact that Nigeria needs to accept and assent to the fact that, look, we should have a referendum in our constitution. It's a democratic tool that is used all over the world, to make decisions based on people's votes. Just like you have a plebiscite. Unfortunately, we have a Nigerian government that thinks that when you mention the issue of referendum, the first thing that comes to their mind is that Southeasterners want to exit Nigeria. And that is wrong. That is a very wrong perception.
Okay.
You can use a referendum for a whole lot of issues. In some countries, if you want to do a constitutional amendment, you put it to vote. People vote in a referendum. In Ireland, they had to conduct a referendum whether to make a legislation in favor of same-sex marriage.
Okay. In
Pakistan, in 2002, Pervez Musharraf, the president, a military leader, conducted a referendum and used it to legitimize his stay in power, his transition from a military ruler to a civilian ruler. So I get somehow distraught with the fact that the moment you talk about referendum, the Nigerian government, they think is all about is all about the Igbo people. That is not what referendum is all about. If we have to do a constitutional amendment, some cases you put it out in a vote. Should we actually, a particular topic, should we discuss this at the National Assembly? Because the people believe that they have representatives, but their representatives don't do enough on particular issue areas. So it is the best thing to do is to throw it to the public in a referendum, in a plebiscite. In 2006, a referendum was conducted in Sudan. And the people of South Sudan voted overwhelmingly to exit.
And that was how we got
South Sudan
out of Sudan.
After a series of wars, after years of carnage, people killing themselves. It's happened in Eritrea. Between Eritrea and Ethiopia. They exited on their own. Referendum is not bad. And when the referendum was conducted in Scotland in 2014, majority of the Scots voted, look, we want still to be part of the United Kingdom.
Okay.
After 300 years of union, it was put to vote, and the Scottish people decided, look, we still want to be part of the United Kingdom. Esther, since 2014 that the referendum was conducted, nobody has ever come up to say the Scots want to exit from the UK. I'm of the opinion that if you conduct a referendum here, there is a likelihood, operational likelihood, that a lot of people in the Southeast, if not majority, will assent to the fact that we want to remain part of Nigeria because the Igbo man has expressly demonstrated his drive for unity.
That's your own perception. That's your own opinion.
I'm talking about
a couple of Southeasterners or Igbos may actually disagree with you. Those say that
Esther,
there is a referendum that would go for it.
Esther, how do we get an accurate opinion? Conduct a referendum.
That's what he said. He did. He said over 50.
Who conducted? Look, Esther. Let's be very factual about this. To the extent that we want a referendum conducted, it should follow due process.
Exactly.
You know, you cannot, it's like being a judge in your own case.
All right.
Who conducted the referendum? That is the question.
Okay.
And I'm saying, let us make it formal. The Nigerian government, either ECOWAS or UN, can get involved. If we don't trust that INEC will conduct a free and fair referendum, let's get involved. The EU, the United Nations, ECOWAS, you know, even AU, to come in and conduct a referendum that will be free and fair. It is at that point that we will decide whether the people of the South still want to be part of this union or they want to exit. That is the issue. What Simon Ekpa has done, like I said, is negotiating. And the referendum that is put out in the open is a tradable.
You have had, at least there is a little balance in what they are saying. But I tell this man that is talking that the referendum we have conducted is called self-referendum, and it is legal and approved. And for him to be talking about why do we have to not do it ourselves without consulting Nigeria, Nigeria have been consulted on several occasions. And I think I have the video. I played the video here. So let me check if I can get my place. We are masses.
The foundation for the liberation and independence of Biafra has been laid by this government, and it is very, very strong. We build this particular foundation of the liberation on solid rock. Are you not seeing it? We are not shaking. I am standing very, very strong, making sure that I'm taking the bullet that they are firing at Biafra people, because their target is you. They believe that once they take Mazen Amdekan out of the way, they will come for all of you. That is exactly what is happening in other parts of Nigeria, because nobody is there to stand on the way for them. And they are annihilating people, killing them, sending them to IDP camp. I told them, you see this face, okay, deceive them very well. To deceive you. The momentum of the Biafra liberation today have necessitated all the discussion you see. Everybody is talking. Release Mazen Amdekan. Why are they keeping him? Some of them claim that he was not fighting the way I'm fighting, but you kidnap him. Some of them are now addressing him as a gentleman, but you went and they kidnapped a gentleman. They say, oh, he's more reasonable. He's not, but you kidnapped him. What were you thinking? All of them contributed money. When Mazen Amdekan was speaking, it was their headache. They couldn't sleep every day. Oh, Mazen Amdekan, he's destroying Alibo. Oh, Mazen Amdekan, he's doing this, he's doing that. Today, Mazen Amdekan is no longer destroying Alibo. Mazen Amdekan is no longer causing problem. Mazen Amdekan is no longer is the good man. Is the only man now that is very reasonable. And I have not even started, because you see what Agaku Nigeria Igwe. Agaku Nigeria Igwe. And you know the next level is by taking all their terrorist barracks, taking all the government houses. That is the next level we will go, because it is part of the defense of our land. These places are places where the attack against our people are being planned. Nobody is talking about in Biafra, Africa die. And in Biafra, Africa will rise. Today, there are movements all over Africa to liberate Africa from neocolonialism. Biafra will not be exceptional. In 2011, Biafra became a charter member of the Organization of Imagining African State. And in December 2015, the Organization of the Imagining African State called on the Nigeria government to hold a referendum on Biafra self-determination within 90 days, including the option.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? This was the video I'm looking for to answer the question to what that man was saying in that interview, where he was saying that how do we have to organize the referendum in such a way that it was organized? Why that it was the Nigerian government or the EU or whatever AU that is supposed to organize it and come and hold it. They have been told several times to do it and they refused, and we decided to do our self-referendum. If they are not satisfied with it, what they have to do is to conduct theirs. This very thing is in response to what that man was saying on that their media. I want you to listen to our Prime Minister on his explanation.
In Biafra, Africa die. And in Biafra, Africa will rise. Today, there are movements all over Africa to liberate Africa from neocolonialism. Biafra will not be exceptional. In 2011, Biafra became a charter member of the Organization of Imagining African State. And in December 2015, the Organization of the Imagining African State called on the Nigeria government to hold a referendum on Biafra self-determination within 90 days, including the option of the total independence as the Republic of Biafra, a transitional phase of not more than 180 days. My fellow Biafrans, it may surprise a lot of people to know that this actually happened. Nigeria ignored it. In 2016, the Organization for Imagining African State repeated the call for referendum as the sponsor of the All Biafran Conference of Accra, which took place in 2016. My fellow Biafrans, in October of 2020, the Organization of Imagining African State repeated its demand for referendum on Biafra self-determination to the government of Nigeria. All these calls were ruthlessly ignored by the Nigeria state. The Organization for Imagining African State, after deliberation, has endorsed the Biafra Republic Government in Exile self-referendum on Biafra for many, many reasons. And one of those reasons, or some of those reasons, are as follows. Nigeria refused to administer or permit a third party to conduct Biafra referendum. The organization also noted that the African Charter of Human and People's Rights guarantees the right to self-determination of everyone, including Biafra people.
Did you hear that? Every Biafra need to be informed, because when we talk about the restoration of Biafra and what Mazi Simon Ekpa is doing, you will not understand. If you are not following Mazi Simon Ekpa bomba to bomba, listening to his activities, you won't understand where he's going. Now, let us go to the next part of that very interview. The discussion is still ongoing. Let us watch what they are saying.
It is at that point that we will decide whether the people of the South still want to be part of this union or they want to exit. That is the issue. What Simon Ekpa has done, like I said, is negotiating. And the referendum that is put out in the open is a tradable. Is a tradable. He has brought something to the table.
Okay.
And he said he's going to conduct a convention and even invited our own Minister of External Affairs
to be part of
it. All these things are tradables. And I relate it to what Yasser Arafat did, from transiting the PLA as an authority to an organization that gets represented in the United Nations with observer status. So let us do things.
Because the thing is, the reason why I'm talking about this, or rather why this is here, is because there needs to be a proper understanding of what is at play. A couple of people just naturally go negative or aggressive when they just hear about this kind of thing without having a proper concept of what it is. Some people do not understand what self-referendum is, or the pattern through which it was conducted according to the self-imposed prime minister. Nobody knows how the process goes, but he declared that this is how a lot of Southeasterners, Igbos especially, are interested in this, and they actually want to be extracted. They want to find their own nation. So that is basically why we wanted to have a proper context of this conversation.
Exactly.
But then here is the thing, where a situation where this kind of thing is called for, there are factors which he reeled out. He talked about certain issues which have bedeviled a lot of individuals, specifically from the region, from the southeastern region. He said marginalization was one of them. Underdevelopment, insecurity, attack against Christians, poverty in the southeast and south-south region as justification for self-referendum. Don't you think this should be an eye-opener for the federal government? If you go to the southeast, for example, there are a lot of underdeveloped areas, especially for how long, that particular region has existed. Questions have been thrown to the southeastern leaders as the governors they've had so far. Why have they not really put a lot of investment or created investment opportunities in that region? Why is that region neglected? Why is that region, you don't have a lot of people residing there just because of the underdevelopment, no proper access to healthcare, education, even the roads? So what would you say to the fact that what he cited as a reason for this is basically what's transpiring there?
Esther, the reason for the referendum that we demand for, it's not hidden. It's a road we have traveled several times.
Okay.
It is very clear that the Southeast has been marginalized by the central government. And some of us even think that there's a conspiracy theory behind it, you know, to oppress the people, you know, to let them remain where they are. But that is the issue in contention now, is that Simon Ekpa conducted a referendum. And Esther, let me ask you, now that he conducted a referendum and people are shouting, oh, referendum has been conducted and 50 million people voted in favor, who is going to enforce it? That is the big question. Who is going to enforce it? So for us to have a referendum that will be enforced, the Nigerian government has to be involved. Probably ECOWAS, AU, UN or EU can get involved and legitimize the process.
Is this why this convention is being conducted, where
the convention is also still being organized by a non-state actor. Who is going to attend? Will the EU be represented? Will the UN be represented? Will ECOWAS be will the Nigerian government be represented? Despite the fact that he has extended an IV to our minister. You know, so while we are looking at all these things, let us contextualize it within the ambit of legality and legitimacy, you know, so that it will become not only broad-based but acceptable to the people. And if you talk about governors and underdevelopment in the Southeast, there are two layers to it. The Southeast people feel that clearly they have been marginalized by the central government of Nigeria. In terms, symbolically, if you look about state creation, the Southeast is the only region that has 5 states, while others have 6, with Northwest even having 7 states. That is an issue. Now, in terms of appointment, the people feel shut out of the space.
I already told you, I think yesterday we spoke, yesterday or 2 days ago, where I told you that in the recent appointment in terms of security for the Southeast, only one person is being designated.
Not only the security. I also made reference to a recent appointment that was made by the president in the humanitarian ministry. There were 7 directorates that got directors.
Yes.
Incidentally, we have 6 geopolitical zones. It would have been proper to spread it from each zone, one person, one director from each zone, one director. But do you know what we got? We got 5 directors from the Southwest, where the president comes from. One from the North Central and one from the Northeast. Northwest got 1, didn't get any. South didn't get any. Southeast didn't get any. So these are the things that spike and fuel, you know, the agitation for self-determination. That is on the part of the federal government. We can talk about it on ending, you know, interminably, because it is very clear, it is very glaring. Now, if you talk about the governors, I also know, and the people of the Southeast know, that
you have heard that part, and I still tell this man that he is making a mistake. And this is the mentality of the black people in the black race, trying to be correct when they cannot be, when they are not correct. You are talking about the legality of the self-referendum that have been done, or the convention that be held, and you are asking us who is going to attend the convention. Did we invite the EU? Did we invite that? What you don't know is bigger than you. The Prime Minister of Biafra, Republic of Nigeria, have done everything he had to do. The EU has an invitation to that very convention. The AU have the invitation, and you have seen the invitation issued to Nigerian government to attend. It is left for them whether they come or they don't come. We are fulfilling all righteousness for us to have our nation. And these people don't know history. They should go and check, how did the state of Israel come about? How did Finland come about? There are so many other nations that passed through this route, and they came out. So many nations who did not get the amount of vote we are getting today, who didn't pass a very solid way, the way we are passing today, and they were able to succeed and have their nation. And yet, you are there in the studio asking us about the legality of our convention. Keep on asking questions. Keep on asking, and you will wake up one day and you realize that the Biafrans are gone. It doesn't matter. Whether you are a Biafran and you are not supporting the Biafra movement, all we want is that don't stand on our way. Allow us to do what we are doing. Continue your discussion in the studio. Put out your own information as you are doing. We don't have anything against you as long as you are not standing in our way. But I tell you, what you don't know is bigger than you. Let us watch the other part of the discussion. It's still ongoing.
Sorry to say that. We're paraded in Spain and Italy Abike kept quiet. But when a certain people from the southeast went to steal in Dubai, she quickly put it out there.
She said that her purview is outside Nigeria. Anything internal is not within her purview to respond to.
I've given three instances. One that happened in Spain, she was silent. Another happened in UAE.
And these are external issues that occurred that she did not bring to light.
So you clearly see some kind of selective justice on her part, on the biases. We don't talk about what the Oba said.
Do you think politicians are the ones inducing this and distracting people from what is currently going on? Maybe this would occupy them.
Politicians
they get
also
distracted from actually the focal, the real issues bedeviling the nation. There is insecurity, there is hunger, our healthcare system is not it, educational system is nothing to write home about, youths are being underemployed. Do you think this is a way to create distraction from the main issues?
Politicians have their own problems too. Like they have exploited our fault lines unduly to divide us. You get the point.
Yes.
So, but I say is in response to the fact that there is something that is called people power.
Okay.
The people power, and we have a middle class that is clearly very well educated. The Nigerian diaspora community represent the most educated in the U.S. We are very proud of that. We are very proud of the achievement of our people, of Nigerians from all tribes and ethnicity. We are very proud of what they do. And we have a thriving middle class here that should be the mouthpiece of the people. But unfortunately, that middle class has allowed itself to be used and exploited by the politicians using our fault lines. Esther, go to X. Go to X.
That's what
the kind of hate. The kind of hate
it's
that
scary.
you see in X, very scary.
It's very scary.
And people clearly take to their ethnic biases and bring it to the public. You see somebody, you see an Igbo man, you see that an Igbo man has made a mistake, and you see Igbo people supporting the person. I said, damn it, how can we, why did we turn like this? You see a Yoruba man has clearly made a mistake, and the Yoruba people are supporting him. You see an Efik man, an Ibibio man that has made a mistake. You see people from his ethnic group supporting him. Esther, if you don't belong to the middle class, you cannot have an X account. So X account, social media clearly is...
At least you're enlightened, you're educated. You understand how to use social media.
You understand, especially X.
Yes.
X is very elitist. It's highly elitist. So you have to come from the middle class to be able to belong
to use that
platform. And so if the middle class, you see this kind of hate, you see the thing trickling down to the pedestrian level.
Obviously
to the pedestrian level.
That's how propaganda happens.
When you say Igbo must go, you see the urchin in the street who is probably doing his business and benefiting from the Igbo man, asking the Igbo man to leave. Because he doesn't understand.
Mr. Chukwumakoro, we've actually run out of time. It's a very scary situation, and I'm expecting that it should be addressed as soon as possible.
Let me land on the people's power.
Persons too. Bayo Onanuga had made such discriminatory statements. The First Lady had said so. I remember in 2019, during the presidential elections at the time under the administration of former President Muhammadu Buhari. All of these dissenting comments came from those who are occupying top positions now, and they're not afraid to actually say they made those statements. So if it's coming from that level, how should this be curbed?
Esther, the only way to curb it is to have responsible leadership. And like
if those are leaders, who are these leaders? If they're the ones encouraging it, then what happens?
I wanted to talk about people's power.
Sense
I wanted to talk about people's power.
To know what is actually going on.
When I say people's power, I will reference what has just happened.
Yes.
What has just happened regarding Joe Ajero. You know, like it's like this government clearly wants to be bullied into responsibility, bullied into action. Look at what happened with Ajero. He was invited clearly now on trumped up charges because the police came to say, oh, it was in relation to the person that we caught. In the labor house. And with the pressure, with the mass of pressure coming from the NLC and the civil society, you
Ajero situation in depth as well, but possibly in the World News at 6 we can elaborate on that further. Once again, thank you.
Thank you, Esther. Thanks for having me.
To wrap up the world news at 6, or rather the world news at 12, here again are the top stories. Federal government seeks stronger Nigeria-European Union ties to tackle malnutrition, humanitarian challenges. Federal government evokes no work, no pay policy against resident doctors. DSS gets court order to freeze 20 bank accounts of female suspected terrorists. An ex-United Nations Special Rapporteur on human trafficking in Nigeria speaks. That's a wrap on the world news at 12. My name is Esther Wachuku. Good afternoon and thank you for listening. Up next is Area Mata with Alaji.
If there are people who do not support their own when they do bad, it is the Biafran people. It is only the Biafran people that do not support their own when they do bad. It doesn't matter whom you are. Once you are wrong, the Biafran people will not support you. But when we have seen a situation where everybody is securing their own and making us scapegoat, we have no choice than to retrace from that idea. As it stands today, the vice president of the Zoological Republic was captured on audio. Tomorrow, I'm going to play his audio, where he was saying that even if he see his own tribesman eating the flesh of somebody from that zoo, that he will never speak against that person. The vice president today said it in his own mouth. The vice president also was one of those who pushed the hatred against the Biafran people that we are seeing today. He is in the front line. When he was speaking with Kunle, every single thing you are seeing today was planned by the vice president of today and Tinubu. And today they are executing it. And you want to tell me to be part of the zoo? We are out. I don't know why it is difficult for you to understand. We are out. It is done and dusted, and there is no going back. I want you to watch the last part of that very interview.
The things that spike and fuel, the agitation for self-determination. That is on the part of the federal government. We can talk about it on ending, interminably, because it is very clear, it is very glaring. Now, if you talk about the governors, I also know, and the people of the Southeast know, that the governors have not done well for us. Because, you don't have to wait for the federal government to do a lot of things for you. You create a conducive environment for business. Right. You see local roads that are deteriorated. You have craters, potholes. You see, vehicles cannot...
Deadly ones. That's why when these kidnappers want to kidnap, it's very easy for them. Even goods and services being transported, they get locked in those potholes, and sometimes they get stranded on the road, and they're open for thieves to take over some of those.
So that's also part of the underdevelopment. Like I said, it's a layered thing. The central government has a responsibility. The state government, you also blame the state governors because they have not done enough. Start by building roads. Start by building roads.
So the question now is...
Start by deploying infrastructure.
Yesterday, I was speaking with Mr. Anosike, and he talked about the fact that it's all about envy for the supposed marginalization or hatred to some of the Southeasterners. For example, the conversation came up based on a particular woman who resides in Canada. She says she's a Canadian citizen. Slurs. Now, X has been rife with ethnic tension recently. In fact, since post-election, there's been quite a lot of back and forth. The question is, who starts off this ethnic slurs, and then, of course, the other person responds. Now, when this woman made the comment she made, it went viral. Abike Dabiriwa actually had to speak on it through her the agency that she's in charge of. And then the Southeasterners also brought out tweets of those from the southwest of Lagos or Ogun State, wherever it is they're from, of how they have made several nefarious statements, indicting statements of harming, persons from the southeast or those who are Igbos. And then this whole thing has continued. Now, the question I now asked was, what is the federal government doing about it? And then the agency that's meant to be responsible for actually proper orientation have gone moribund. That's a national orientation agency. They are now moribund. So what should be done, and how can the presidency resolve this marginalization beyond the whole self-referendum, the act for these Igbos to extract themselves from the country or secede that they've been clamoring for?
Oh, okay, Esther, I think we are not talking about the insightful speech and all of that.
It's still part of the reason for the call for self-determination, the marginalization, the insecurity, the underdevelopment, the isolation. This is part of it. That is what culminated to the ethnic tension on social media.
No, Esther, it's not. It's not. Let's divide it. Let's separate them.
All right.
The call for the ethnic slurs, wherever it comes from, wherever it originates from, is highly condemnable.
Obviously.
What the woman, Amaka, supposedly, an Igbo woman did in Canada, is evil, is obnoxious. No matter the level of hate, you don't express an intent to kill.
But somebody said that she responded to what a particular social space conversation said.
Esther, two wrongs do not make it right. So that is why I condemn it in strongest terms that I can. But on the flip side, let's look at the actions of people in government. And like you mentioned, Abike Dabiri.
Yeah.
Abike Dabiri happens to be one of our own, fine journalist, fine newscaster, But since she got into government, she has expressed a level of bias that is inconsistent with her position.
Before she got the appointment.
But before she got the appointment, she was just a newscaster. She was a journalist. She didn't have an opinion of her own. So probably the appointment was able to unmask her, unmask the kind of geniality. When you see people in public places, like you are reading the news now, I can provoke you.
Yes.
If I provoke you now, you look at your professional background to react.
Yes.
So those geniality were probably hidden behind the camera. But now that she got the appointment, the biases exploded, because clearly she has been profiling a particular ethnic group, especially the Igbo group, wrongly. Do you know why I said so? I could read out instances where people from the West, our brothers from the West, meanwhile we are the same humanity. It's just differences in language and culture, minor differences.
Okay.
So we belong to the same humanity. Our brothers from the Southwest committed crimes and offenses at the international level, outside Nigeria, and she was very silent on them. But the moment somebody from the Southeast, there's an infraction on that person,
became very vocal.
She is very, very quick to bring it to the fore.
The road to the Canadian
like what happened to like what she's doing with the Amaka thing now.
Yes.
We had an Adenka Jr. who did the same thing under her purview from UK, and she was silent. There was a time that Yoruba prostitutes, sorry to say that, were paraded in Spain and Italy. Abike kept quiet. But when a certain people from the Southeast went to steal in Dubai, she quickly put it out there.
She said that happened.
Now you can see the evil in the zoo cannot be accepted. We are done with them. We are not with them. We are not part of their so-called political correctness. You see the way they talk in their studio. Kudos to them. At least they are trying to bring out information. But for us, political correctness, we are not part of it. We speak the truth and nothing but the truth. If you give us boza, we give you basbos. There is no two ways about it. Whichever cup you feed us, we are going to feed you double with that cup. That is where we are today. So anybody that is trying to preach anything, keep your preaching and your message to yourself. The only direction we are focused now is exit, because the zoo has ended.
The zoo has fallen. The zoo has fallen. Finally, the zoo has fallen. If you do not know that the zoo has fallen, check around yourself. Check around you. Nobody is talking about the agreement and how Nigeria become a country from amalgamation to fake independence to today present Nigeria. They put it under the carpet because nobody have risen up to challenge them. Nobody have risen up to question the existence of Nigeria. Until now, we are questioning it under the Biafra government in exile. I will question it with gun. We will question it with bomb. We will question it with civility. We will question it diplomatically, and we will question it politically. And that is the multi-dimensional approach that thing they are avoiding to discuss, that particular existence of Nigeria, or continuation of Nigeria, they have been avoiding to discuss, will be forced to discuss. They will be forced with the activities and the actions of the Biafra government in 2024. That's where we are going. That's why all these shenanigans, all this their regional government, all this nonsense you see happening are happening today. And they have not actually started hitting the point, because the point remains the continual existence of Nigeria as a country. They are not discussing it. What was the agreement of 1914? What was the agreement thereafter? Independent. What happened for after the 100 years of Nigeria? Nobody is discussing it. Our own British mandate terminated in 2014. That was when the British mandate terminated. When they say you have 100 years, after that we decide.
What does Biafra mean?
It means freedom, liberty, fairness, equity, and justice.
In practical terms, these are very good sounding words, but in practical terms, what does Biafra mean?
Confederation.
So, a weak center,
very weak,
very strong regions.
Absolutely.
Have you had a change of mind, therefore, about getting an independent Biafra? Because that's what I seem to be hearing.
No, I've not changed my mind, no. An independent Biafra means going back to where we were before the white man came.
Okay, so you're not talking about a federation when you say a confederation. You're not talking about a federation as part of Nigeria. You're talking about total independence.
Absolute independence.
Complete independence. Now, is there anything that can happen that will make you change your mind about this particular direction?
No.
So it is either Biafra or nothing else?
Or death, yes.
Or death?
That's good.
If push comes to shove,
yes,
will you go to war?
No, because truth is a far more potent and deadlier weapon than bullets and mortars.
So truth. No war? You've ruled out the...
Absolutely, I don't believe in war, no. No war. When I say Biafra order, then I'll keep pushing. Either I am alive, I die in the process, I won't stop. Allow me to repeat, if you don't mind. Had sovereign national conference been convened by the powers that be, where every ethnic nation, I said every, I don't care if there are 600, I don't care. Everyone is
all the 500 plus.
Everyone together to say, this is all, others can delegate, I don't know, powers to other people to attend on their behalf. Sit down to say, what type of country do we want? Sit down, discuss, agree. I can begin to perhaps submit to your position.
Is it too late?
It is way too late. They've killed too many people. They've ruined too many lives. They've wasted too many souls. How do we bring those people back?
If the federal government, given the agitation that is going on, becomes convinced that, you know what, these people have a point, it is time to actually address all these issues, and they begin to systematically address some of these issues, would you change your mind?
No, because of the deceptions of the past.
No trust?
No trust. Aburi was there, it was negotiated. Nothing happened. 1968, if I recall. And the confab report, what became of it? How about the 3 R's? Reconciliation, reconstruction, and heaven knows what else. What became of them? Nothing. Calabar Seaport is not working. Can you tell me why it's not working? It's a seaport used by the colonial masters. Why is it not working today? How about Iguacha Seaport? Why is it not being used? Why not worry? Why must we allow only Lagos to function as a viable seaport? In England, where I used to live, you had Liverpool, you had the Sun, which is Portsmouth, you had Southampton. Everywhere you had harbors and ports. So why must you have only one?
I've heard people say these are very valid arguments, and that these are things that are to do with bad governance. So the average Biafran, to use your phrase, or Igbo man in the Igbo, is facing poverty much in the same way that the average guy in Yobe State is facing poverty. And so these are issues of governance. You don't agree with that?
I agree completely.
Okay. So if that is it, why isn't the agitation about tackling the problem, which is ensuring good governance, perhaps starting from locally. Because part of the allegations against you is that you don't confront your political leaders in the East, and you'd like to blame Abuja for everything.
Because the way I would want to solve a problem is not how a Fulani man would want to solve it.
You really believe this is an ethnic thing, and the approach is different?
No, the approach is different. No, it's not ethnic. It is more to do with value system.
Right.
The way you may want to solve a problem could be markedly different from how I do mine.
What is the geographical makeup of Biafra, as far as you are concerned? This Biafra that you want. So, for example, if we're doing a referendum, where will that referendum take place? Is it only the 5?
It's on, no.
It's okay.
It's on, which is River State, Biafra, Delta, Anambra, Imo, Enugu, Ebonyi, Cross River.
Akwa Ibom?
And Akwa Ibom, of course.
Right.
Those are the coasters. Basically.
Bielsa?
Yes. Southeast and South-South without Edo State.
Without Edo State.
That's correct. And then including Igede, Idoma.
Right, the Benues. So the Igalas and part of the Kogi state, right? Nyesom Wike, the governor of Anambra, sorry, the governor of River State, made a statement, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, and said, you know, you should not be including River State and the people.
Not him. I can't decide for Biafrans. You have to go and vote and convince the whole world that they want Biafra. It's not for instance, it's only one man, one vote.
What if they're not even willing to take part in the referendum? Because I've had people from the South, for example, from Bielsa. I've had people from Cross River. I think there's a famous actress, Kate Henshaw, for example, wrote a long piece about why people of the South don't want to be dragged into a place called Biafra. You're saying, regardless of what they say, you want a referendum in those parts?
Because I know the majority of the people want a referendum. I was in Iguacha yesterday.
How do you know?
I was there yesterday. I was in Iguacha yesterday. You call Port Harcourt. I was there yesterday. I should have been there to see what happened.
Now,
they were delighted to see me. I'm sure you know that. It's all over the place. They're very happy to see me. I bet Kate Henshaw wouldn't get such reception. Where she to go to?
She's a big, popular Nollywood actress. I wouldn't necessarily.
I'm telling you, if I go to her village, people will turn out to see me more than turn out to see her.
That interview was granted to our supreme leader, Mazen Nandekan. Should be 2016 or 17. That interview was granted. And Mazen Nandekano made it categorically clear that it is too late. Nothing can be done to make us step away from the restoration of independence of Biafra or asking for independence. The question was thrown to him, is there anything that can be offered? This is either 2017 or 18, 2017 or 18. And he said, it is too late, that a lot of life has been wasted. If Mazen Nandekan could say this then, what do you think he'll be saying in 2024? Do you know how many people have lost their life from then to now? He made that comment before the Python dance. That interview was granted before the Python dance. Before they began to chase him to take his life. Now you can count how many people we have lost from Python dance up to date. That is when I see some idiotic people who are still in agitation, I laugh at them. We are in restoration, and already we have a functioning government, home and abroad. Biafran government is in charge of Biafran territory. That is why today the delegitimization of the zoo in our territory have been raised to the highest level. And videos are coming as evidence of what is going on. If you are one of those who is still believing the lie of the enemy, keep on believing them. As for those of us who knows who we are and where we are going, there is no way they can stop us. It is forward ever.
I am not a pushover. And I believe Nigeria have seen that. If you think that Simon Ekpa is somebody you can push over, then you don't know me. I am here to end Tinubu. I am here to end Nigeria. I am here to end the Usman Danfodio legacy. I will end it. The people who have ended it in their different countries doesn't have to head. I am going to be more than any of all those people who have fought freedom, including Gandhi. I am here to be more than Gandhi. Gandhi did not even fight the kind of demons that we have in Nigeria. Nelson Mandela did not fight the kind of demons that we have in Nigeria. And so I brought out myself, I'm well cooked for this particular freedom. So anybody thinking that Simon Ekpa is going down, you don't know what is coming. You still have a long way to go. I will be here to finish this job, and by December, I will issue a declaration for the restoration of the independent state of Biafra, and the flag of Biafra will rise very, very high all over the world. That day, every liaison office all over the world of Biafra will rise the Biafra flag very, very high. We will raise it very, very high from homeland to all over the world. And then after that, the diplomatic battle will begin for recognition of Biafra government.
And we are not going to stop. I want the world to understand me very clearly. We are not going to stop. It doesn't matter what it takes. It doesn't matter how many lives they extinguish. It doesn't matter the genocidal tendencies they bring with them into our land. We are not going to stop. Everybody listening, everybody watching, everybody remotely interested in justice and peace must understand this. Our destination is freedom, and that very place we're heading to is Biafra. And nobody, no soul on this earth can stop us. Instead of Biafra not to come, we all perish. I want our adversaries.
Did you hear that? That was a message from the supreme leader of IPOB, Mazen Nandekan. You better prepare yourself for what is coming. If you are a Biafra, get ready. We are going home. No amount of blackmail or propaganda will stop us. Thank you so much for joining me on today's program. We are going to come back again tomorrow to continue on this expose and bringing you more information on things that are happening. Thank you for being part of the program. Like and share this program. If you have not yet shared it, I don't know the kind of Biafran you are. Like and share. And we guide and protect every one of you. Happy weekend. Enjoy your weekend while we come back tomorrow to continue.
This is the Biafra national anthem.
7 rows, 14 rows, 21 rows. I love to go. Man, beat.